Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to something that's not really a quote-unquote series per se, but it is more so of kind of a thing I've really needed to kind of do for a little bit, and just the viewership, the lowest viewership deal is kind of got me to a point where I need to talk about this, and this isn't necessarily a rant. I mean, it kind of could be considered a rant, but not exactly. But as with everything on the National Wrestling Shooters, I'm going to shoot straight. And, I've recently been I like to put very nice when it comes to WWE, because I haven't really been as vocal as what I really should be when it comes to the product being good and or trash. However, I think something needs to be done. Okay. If you guys heard the news, Raw scored their lowest viewership to date. Now, the number was around 2.4 mil, I think, something along the lines. If I could find the article, I'll find it for you guys. But, I mean, here's the thing that I'm going to get out of the way. Is this going to affect WWE? Not really, if I'm going to be honest. It isn't really going to affect the WWE when it comes to making money and all that. They're still going to make money. The stock is still really, really good at the moment. Trying to find the thing. But, and at the end of the day, it isn't really going to hurt them financially. However, they really need to think about the viewership, and think about, how do I put it? They need to look at this as sort of a wake-up call, I guess, is the best way to describe it. In other news, we have Caitlyn being confirmed as the first competitor in the main classes. She will be returning to WWE. We also have news of Dean Ambrose possibly end up missing SummerSlam due to his injury and rehabilitation. I need to get to the viewership thing real quick. He also had two surgeries, Fandango with his shoulder and Goldust with both of his knees. Pretty brutal when it comes to injuries that required surgery. But here we go. This week's Monday Night Raw draws the lowest viewership to date. This week's episode on Monday Night Raw drew a dismal 2.470 million viewers, which, I mean, 2.4 million people watching a show is absolutely nothing to sneeze at. But considering the fact that they have gotten like way more than that in the past, ever since Raw has begun, it's pretty bad, quote unquote. The last record was of September 26, 2016 at 2.478, but that was against the Trump and Clinton debate and Monday Night Football. So, I mean, of course, people are probably going to turn into that more than they will wrestling. But there is nothing that I know of that was on around the same time. So there isn't an excuse WWE can have, and there's no excuse that the diehard fans could bring up. The first hour drew 2.582, the second hour drew 2.508, and the third hour drew 2.320. And here's the thing. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Raw last night was all right. I didn't really mind it. Probably one of the better Raws in the past 2 or 3 weeks. Not saying a whole lot, but I didn't mind it. It was watchable, and it doesn't really take a whole lot. If I'm being honest, it doesn't really take a whole lot for me to be like, yeah, it was watchable, you know. I wouldn't necessarily watch it again, you know. I mean, it's there if you wanna, but usually when these viewerships and these ratings take a dive, that is when good old Vinnie Mac makes an appearance. So if he comes back pretty soon, I really wouldn't put it past a Vince McMahon appearance on Monday Night Raw in the very near future. Now, there's some questions, but the main one people might be wondering, some people, or WWE might be wondering, is why is the viewership gotten this low? Well, I've got about 5 reasons right here at least. There's probably more out there. You know, like the storylines are crap and all that. Y'all can make up more reasons if you want of why the viewership's probably going down low. There's 3 people on Monday Night Raw that are being pushed to the absolute moon, no matter what they're doing. If they're in a match, you can pretty much bet that they're gonna win. I probably should add a 6 threes on here, but I can't remember that. I'll talk about that in a second. First, a more general thing is that wrestling nowadays is not as good in WWE as it used to be back in the Attitude Era with discretion. Now, I've been one of those guys that's like, hey, you know, people talk about bringing the Attitude Era back, you know, all they say is like, oh, it's so stupid, bring the Attitude Era back, with no logic behind it. I really think that usually going with the past ideas would probably backfire, but maybe they need to do something. Something's got to be done, whether it is get off the PG era or... And it isn't really necessarily that, and I'm not putting that as one of the reasons, because WWE has proven multiple times on its main program, on Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT, that they can run under the PG era and still put on really good stuff. So I'm not going to put the PG era at fault for this, actually. Yeah, they're trying to make it more kid-friendly and family-friendly and all that, and that might be a turn-off for a lot of hardcore wrestling fans. I can understand that, but the PG era isn't the problem anymore. A lot of people were saying back in the day that the PG era was the problem, but 2016, I really think, except for September 26th, and at least on SmackDown's end, maybe Raw's end too, to a certain extent, kind of put that to bed, because that year, well, like I said, despite the injuries, despite all the setbacks, they did a pretty damn good job busting their asses to put on a damn good year, and I think they did a perfectly good job of doing that. It's just they haven't really picked up that momentum and kept that momentum going since then, and it's kind of caused WWE to go on a bit of a downward spiral. They have good episodes here and there, and people here and there, and that happens every year. It's like, ooh, that was a really good episode. But 2016, the difference between that was that Raw and SmackDown, mostly SmackDown, but Raw and SmackDown, consistently, for the most part, people were like, ooh, this is a really good show. This is a really good show. I'd like to go back and watch this again on the network whenever it comes out. And that was... I guess this is kind of 2 problems built into one, is that WWE failed to pick up the momentum from 2016, and just the general problem is that wrestling nowadays isn't as good as it was back then, because back then they were drawing like, fuck, I don't remember, it's been too long since I've looked at the ratings for past Raws and all that, but they were drawing fucking good ratings. They were able to beat WCW, when WCW was whooping their ass for 83 weeks straight. Due to Eric Bischoff pulling a boneheaded move, to be perfectly honest, and revealing that Mick Foley was going to win the title, because everyone was like, oh, wait, I like Mick Foley. Fuck you, WCW. Go to WWF, and realize, oh, wait, this shit's actually good. And they kept watching and watching in WCW, with then going down to the demise. But, hey, and speaking of WCW, I've heard another little thing that's been kind of brought up, and there's some truth to it. I'm just not remembering it. WWE, now, people might disagree. I'm not saying that these companies are nothing. I'm not saying anything bad about these companies. But there is no legit competition that actually has the tendency or the legitimate threat of putting the WWE out of business. And so WWE realized this, and they decided, we can be a little bit lazy. You at the top. You guys, we can do whatever. And people will be screaming in the comments or, you know, ranting somewhere else. New Japan, Ring of Honor, TNA, etc., etc. But see, the thing is, financially wise, they don't have the legitimate threat to put the WWE out of business, because the stock levels, for one, have risen, even though New Japan has performed significantly better matches, significantly better storytelling in their matches. NXT could be better. I don't know. NXT, New Japan deal. Super Show. But there is no like legitimate threat to put them out of business to where WWE will be no more. And people might come around and say, well, TNA, you know, it was their main competition. But see, TNA went into a bit of a slump. And even though they're starting to pick up momentum, They're still in that slump right now. And yeah, I believe that with the right people in charge, the same people that are around the New Japan scene, I think they could be really good. It's just they need to get back up there to where they were beforehand. That's the difficult part. And who the hell knows, something might happen between now and then that prevents them from doing that, and then shut the doors. Who knows? There's absolutely a lot of other companies out there that perform better wrestling than the WWE does. I'm not going to dispute that at all. What I am going to say is that on the mountain, so to speak, of wrestling businesses, WWE is so far up there that people have to climb freaking climb years and years to reach up. And they've been doing that for years and years and years. And until some sort of actual threat, competition threat, comes along WWE's way, they're not going to fucking pick up the pace. But I think also they should do that anyway, even if there's no competition, just to prove even more that, hey, WWE is the best out there, and maybe people will actually agree with you instead of people actually turning away and going to New Japan or Ring of Honor or TNA. Because eventually, here's the thing, eventually, you can only do that for so long, but eventually, it's going to catch up to you, and, well, you're going to lose your viewership. And speaking of losing viewership, loss of long-time viewers, see Don Callis, Scott D'Amore, and you wonder why that is, because they're around the New Japan scene. They have them on the New Japan scene, and they know what the hell they're doing. They don't have to repeat shit 4 weeks in a row. You know? I mean, I'm trying not to rant, but I gotta get this out there, man. Fuck. But I've been being too nice when it comes to these Raw rebounds and the SmackDown discussions, and let me just put it like this. SmackDown is not a part of this. I'm trying to keep SmackDown out of this. It is mainly Raw. I think that is the issue. SmackDown, you know, there's some questionable things here and there, but I don't think that's going to be... They are trying to perform as best as they possibly can, and with the whole Fox deal, I think they're going to do a bit better. So, there's that. SmackDown's not really a problem. It's more so Raw than anything else. Not NXT, not 205 Live, not SmackDown. All three are good, my view, but Raw's the problem. That's why this is called the Raw problem. But longtime people who have stuck by through thick and thin, through bad or worse, like a married couple, have begun to finally turn away from the product. Now, I'm going to put this out there right now. Okay? There was a point in time, I think before Money in the Bank, that I didn't watch Raw or SmackDown for at least 2 or so weeks. And I don't do that normally. Well, of course, here and there, there's going to be situations that are more important than wrestling that I have to attend to that make me miss wrestling. And that's common for everyone, okay? Never have I willingly just sat and just not watched Raw or SmackDown. And I did it for 2 weeks straight. And it wasn't that hard, if I'm being honest. It really wasn't hard. Maybe SmackDown was a little bit hard. But Raw, and it was kind of partly because I couldn't find a good live stream, because usually living room is taken over by, other family members, so I'm not going to interrupt them. But it wasn't really hard to miss Raw. You know? And if something big did happen, then I would go back and watch it. But nothing really big happened. But with that in mind, I'm going to say this right now before anything else. I'm not walking away from WWE. I've been a fan for 16 years, and I don't believe in turning my back on something that has meant more to me than I could even begin to put in. And that's the thing, like, it's become a point where I've gone through and looked at so many other wrestling promotions. It's no longer the saying that WWE, well, it is, but it isn't. But wrestling has helped me so much. Like, wrestling is, people can call it whatever they want. Wrestling is my happy place, where I could escape for, 2-3 hours, however long. That's the one thing I will say about Raw. Well, kind of. When it's at least all right, it is a good, happy place to go to whenever you're stressed, whenever you're depressed, whenever you're dealing with crap. Turn on a classic Raw, or turn on Monday Night Raw, or SmackDown, or whatever the case may be. Or New Japan, or Ring of Honor, or Impact, or whatever your case may be, whatever wrestling promotion you prefer. and just sit back and just relax and just not worry about the problems that are going on in your life. And that's one reason why I will never turn my back on professional wrestling. And that's one reason why I don't think I will ever have the courage to really turn my back on WWE, really. I'm not saying that people are necessarily turning their back on WWE. They have the reason for walking away, of course, and to each their own. My standpoint is I can't do it. I don't have it in me to do it. I want to be perfectly honest. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a problem with that. Because if long-time people who have stuck by you for so long are leaving due to one reason or another, that's a big problem right there. And one of the reasons for that would be Repeat City, as I called it. Repeat City. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, look from Raw after Money in the Bank to the Raw before Extreme Rules. Let's look at a couple things. B-Team impersonating Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt every single week. It's funny the first time. Haha, the second time. Third time is a little bit ridiculous. Let's see. What else? I can't think. Oh, Lashley and Roman Reigns versus the Revival. That's another thing that WWE like to do for 3 out of the 4 weeks. And then they finally decided, let's have Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns beat each other up for once. I mean, yay, Revival got on Raw. And maybe this is a sign of a push. Yay. But come on. Like, and Dashwater pinned Roman Reigns? What the fuck? But come on. Like, you can't do the same cycle over and over again and just be like, oh, okay, that's good. Okay, everyone. Okay, just run the show. Good night. That's lazy. That is beyond lazy. You can't get lazy when it comes to wrestling. You just can't. Even if you're at the very top of the food chain, it's not something that you could do. There are 3 more things on here on the list. 2 of them I could kind of wrap into one. And then one of them I really think is a big problem with WWE. And they don't realize it because they're too goddamn stubborn. And that's another thing. But before I get to those 2 and those 3 things, here's a thing that I think everyone can agree on. Some of the talent, a lot of it, in Raw, sometimes SmackDown too, but mainly Raw, are misused. Kevin Owens is not supposed to be the punching bag of Braun Strowman every single goddamn week. And you know Braun Strowman was winning the steel cage match at Extreme Rules. If Kevin Owens wins, I'll literally be shocked. But Kevin Owens being your first reigning Universal Champion, and you have him now as his punching bag for Braun Strowman with the porta potty and all this other shit, like, you... And then the fat jokes as well. Like, weight does not matter in wrestling. There are individuals who are big in size who do really good shit and are very athletic. Kevin Owens is one of those examples. Rusev is another one. And you treat Kevin Owens now like a pile of dog shit. It's insulting. Another thing with, and I might as well go ahead and put his name out there right now. And let me put this out there first. I like Braun Strowman. I think he's very good. For a big guy, he's really good. I think he's funny. I think that he would make a great Universal Champion. And I really hope he does win the Universal Championship. That being said, be careful. Okay? Because I haven't really seen a whole lot of backlash on Braun Strowman. But that ties into another individual that I'm going to be talking about, Mr. Roman Reigns, the guy who should be the Universal Champion, but I'll get to that later on. You've been running this Roman Reigns experiment for 3 years now. 3 years, ever since the Shield broke up. You've been going on this bit of a Roman Reigns experiment deal. Well, I really should say Rumble 2015 because that's where it really, really began. And here's the thing. Yes, a lot of people liked Roman Reigns. Yeah, part of this is due to people not wanting Daniel Bryan to lose the Rumble matchup because they wanted Bryan in the main event of Mania. Yes, fans overreact when it comes to the hate on Roman Reigns. 100%. But the thing is, how much can you push someone down our throats? Now, hold on. Before people come in and say, oh, well, he hasn't won a title in 2 years. Yes, I hear you. He has not won a title in 2 years. And personally, I think at some point he should win the belt again. Don't hate me. Don't shoot me. I'm just saying. I think that other people deserve it more than him because I think that, you know, let them give a chance. But Roman Reigns hasn't had that lengthy, legit title reign ever. Survivor Series 2015, lost in the same night. Now after TLC, he lost at the Royal Rumble. WrestleMania 32, after he won that, he lost that 2 months later to Seth Rollins due to his idiotic drug deal, you know? And while all these are taken into consideration, people are like, oh, he's held the top 3 times, that's enough. He hasn't had his reign, pardon the pun. He hasn't had his time in the sun, really, if you think about it, with the championship-wise. Now, he's been booked bigger than the championship. So before people come in and be like, oh, well, no. Well, he hasn't had any mounts. He's hadn't had one title, so you can shut up. It's not being a Roman Reigns hater. The fact that Roman Reigns is being booked bigger than the WWE Championship, not the Universal Belt, because that one doesn't exist for a good year and a half almost. But we will get to that. Roman Reigns has been built and booked like he's bigger than the WWE Championship. And the fans don't like it. And WWE's been persistent. Let's see. Let's go through everything. Royal Rumble 2015. You know, okay, that's fine. You know, it was going to happen because I think WWE, after the Shield broke up, really liked Roman. So it was kind of expected for him to win the Rumble at some point, and we were all kind of thinking that whenever he got that big record-breaking performance, breaking Kane's long record. So, okay, no problem with that. Beating Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. Ooh, that's kind of sting for some people. I mean, I kind of expected it to happen, so I'm not really upset, but I heard the match wasn't really that good. I still haven't watched it this very day. But, you know, I kind of expected that to happen, so whatever. Mania 31 against Brock Lesnar. I didn't like the match. That match sucked. But Seth Rollins saved the day. Woohoo! Let's see. What did Roman do after that? Roman had his thing with the Big Show. Fast forward, Roman Reigns has his thing with the Bray Wyatt. That was interesting on some parts and not interesting in the other parts. But Roman Reigns won that feud. Poor Bray Wyatt. Roman Reigns becomes number 1 contender for the WWE title. Well, I mean, you know, it had to happen at some point. Roman Reigns wins that Survivor Series and wins the WWE Championship, but they get cashed off by Sheamus. That's gonna hurt for your first world title reign. Roman Reigns wins it back on the night after TLC. Now, that was a moment that everyone liked for some reason in Philadelphia. The people that were rioting because Roman Reigns won and Daniel Bryan lost. Very ironic right there. That only lasted about a good month, I think. Maybe. I don't remember. But Triple H won the Rumble matchup and won the WWE Championship. And in Roman Reigns' title reign, actually, the WWE title got defended at the Royal Rumble again. Whoa, everyone said. Now, that's pretty fun. We haven't had that since 1992. This should be interesting. Then you got the rest. Then you got Fastlane, Triple Threat, Brock, Dean, Roman, Pin Dean. I mean, well, Brock's protected as hell. Then you get WrestleMania 32. I think really this is the part where I've been I started seeing more of people going down when it comes to him. The match with Triple H was terrible. It was shit. Yeah, spear through the barricade. Cool. Spear the Stephanie McMahon. Awesome. And then no heel turn. Even though I don't really think why people want a heel turn all of a sudden. It would not have made any sense whatsoever unless he did a double turn. Although I would have loved to have seen how they would have done that. Interesting. Let's see. He then beats AJ Styles. You know. Let's see. Twice. You know. But both were good matches. He lost to Seth Rollins. People wondering what the hell. Roman Reigns got suspended. People wanting him to get fired. I maybe made a joke about that. I'm a horrible person, I know. He went on to win the U.S. Championship, and here's where I really think people... I think it got worse as time progressed. Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns lost the Universal Championship matchup to Kevin Owens due to Braun Strowman's interference. And then the Royal Rumble came. Number 30, we were expecting Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, all these people, and we get Roman Reigns. The boos were real. Oh, boy. And the fact that he came within a hair of winning again set people in a bit of a frenzy. And then Randy Orton ended up winning it, which he's won it before. Then Roman Reigns... Oh, did I mention that this Mania that I'm going to be talking about where he faced The Undertaker at WrestleMania was his third main event of WrestleMania in a row, and not his last. Against The Undertaker at WrestleMania in a match where it wasn't really that good. I'm being honest, it wasn't really that good, and we all thought that Roman Reigns got the rub of retiring The Undertaker, which, I mean, some people on one hand were like, well, I mean, Taker needs to retire, it's time, he's done everything in the business that he needs to, he has nothing left to prove, and on the other hand, people were like, why did Roman Reigns get the rub of retiring The Undertaker, why can't it be anybody else? Well, you know, yes, the same question as to why Brock Lesnar broke the streak, because WWE, you know, they like Roman and Brock, which then led all the way after several pay-per-view main events in a row, I believe, on the Raw side of things. Let's see. There was Payback. Yep, his match with Braun Strowman main evented. Oh, yeah, Brock Lesnar's Universal title reign began. We'll get right back to that. He main evented, let's see. He didn't main event Great Balls of Fire because Brock was actually there. I was there live. I remember this. Pay-per-view was really, really good. It was really, really good. SummerSlam, main evented. No Mercy. Had a match with John Cena. Survivor Series, you know, give or take. He didn't really main event. He actually opened the show. He was going to be in the main event of TLC, but he got meningitis. Boo. Then came back to the Royal Rumble and was in the final two again, giving people even more of a reason to be like, this is a bunch of bullshit. And lost. But then, guess who main evented WrestleMania and the Elimination Chamber? Roman Reigns. And he lost to Brock Lesnar. And then he lost to Brock Lesnar again. And beat Samoa Joe in the main event of Backlash, which there were a lot of chances for that. And then he faced Jinder Mahal on Money in the Bank in a match that was not that good either. The thing is, they're building Roman Reigns like the next John Cena of the WWE. Except the Roman Reigns way. Now, all of Cena hate probably should have taught you guys a lesson. You can't push the same guy as big as you are doing with Roman Reigns, as big as you did with John Cena for so long. No, no, no. Because people get sick and tired of it. Yeah, sure. Roman could have his time for a little bit in the spotlight. You know, I think the Mania 32, him winning the belt, and then maybe around SummerSlam losing the belt. I don't see a problem with that. And then give someone else a chance, you know? Build someone else up on the side a little bit. I don't know. You pick. Oh, and it's freaking Brock Lesnar's birthday tomorrow. Oh, right. We'll get back to that in a minute. But now I'm going to learn with that. And here's, I think, a bigger problem than that. And here's why I'm saying this. I hope Roman Reigns beats Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. I hope Roman Reigns becomes Universal Champion and beats the holy hell out of this guy, because I cannot stand this guy. This is the one guy on WWE that I legitimately, pardon the pun, cannot stand with a fucking passion, and his name is Brock Lesnar. Now, Brock Lesnar came back in 2012, and everyone was happy. I was excited, you know. I was like, oh yeah, Brock Lesnar's back. Cool. He won an MMA. Let's see what he did. You know, he lost to John Cena at Extreme Rules, you know. But actually, you know what? I'm going to bypass all of that real quick. Let's go to 2017. Brock Lesnar became the Universal Champion at WrestleMania 33 against Goldberg, in a match where the belt was not needed to be on the line. It really did not need to be on the line. It really didn't, because Goldberg did not need to win the belt, because you had a Jericho-Kevin Owens match right there that he could have done as a very good main event of the show. Probably wouldn't have went over Roman and Taker being main event of the show, obviously, but you get the idea. So, Brock Lesnar wins the Universal Championship, right? And I'm going to be honest, at first, you know, he's doing all right with his reign. You know, I didn't mind, you know, he came and grabbed Balls of Fire and put on a match with Samoa Joe, which was short, but it was fun. I was there live, it was fun. You had the Fatal 4-8 at SummerSlam, which are still Brock Lesnar's best championship title defense to date. His best one to date. Then you have one with Braun Strowman at No Mercy. No. Then you had an ODQ match with Braun Strowman and Kane. Better than the No Mercy match. You had the WrestleMania matchup with Roman. That main evented. And then you have the Great Balls of Fire. Not Great Balls of Fire. What? I'm going backwards. You have the greatest Roman ever in the screw job where Roman won. I don't give a shit what people say. Roman won that match. It should be Universal Champion. And a story. Bite me. Your main champion is a guy who put more passion in less than a minute in a UFC promo than he ever did in a WWE promo. That's the guy that's representing your company. Really? Like, come on. But he draws the ratings. No, he draws the ratings. I do not give a flying fuck. I would rather the ratings suffer, but the champion be there every week. Because then, in my eyes, that is already better by default. And that, I think, is one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, other than maybe wrestling's not as popular as it was back in the day, that Raw is failing. Is that they've been going at this same bullshit experiment for far too long. Well over a fucking year. Well over a goddamn year. Here's the thing. Brock Lesnar has got one more match in his contract, supposedly. Here's what I say to that. SummerSlam, lose the belt, get the fuck out. I don't want him anywhere in WWE because I think he is a cancer. He is poison to WWE. It's been a thing I've been frustrated at for so long now. And it's flat out pissed me off on so many occasions. And the greatest Rumble ever was just the fucking nicest thing that they did. Just the nicest thing. And here's the thing. One more thing before I go. We all know what their plan is by now, right? Trying to get as much heat on Brock Lesnar as possible so that Roman Reigns can be cheered because they want to get Roman Reigns cheered. Guys, first off, you don't have to get heat on Brock Lesnar. The majority of the fan base hate Brock Lesnar as it is for not being there and for being a fucking piece of shit. It's obvious. By the way, for those that saw the UFC thing that he did, right? He put more passion and gave more of a fuck in less than what? 1-2 minutes in that alone than he has done for the WWE in years. It is clear to me that Brock Lesnar belongs in the UFC and he should stay there in the UFC. That right there, that UFC thing, if you guys saw the passionate promo that he did, or if you saw the emotion and the passion that he put in that promo for UFC, that to me validates everything everyone has said about Brock Lesnar not giving a flying fuck about the WWE except for a big fat old paycheck. And that's, to me, that justified and solidified and validated all the times I've said that. Because all the times I've said that, people could come in and disagree with it all they want. But to me, I look at that, and I'm no longer changing my mind. He gives more of a fuck about the UFC than WWE. And if that's the case, go to UFC and don't come the fuck back to WWE, because I will be perfectly fine not watching UFC over there and perfectly fine watching the WWE over here without your sorry ass. Just, it's plain and simple. And I think that's the main thing that aggravates me about Raw the most, is the whole Brock Lesnar thing. But I've gotten it out there. I think I've covered everything. There's probably more, but you know what? I've been on here for a while, and I'm going to go ahead and just hop off. But thank you guys for watching this Wrestling Wednesday wrap-up. This might turn into a series. I don't know. It might be something where I discuss the main rumors of wrestling going on. It really depends on how I feel and what all happens throughout the week. So, might not be the last one, but I don't know for sure. Don't forget, guys, tomorrow I'll be streaming 8 matches for the tournament on WWE 2K18. As per usual, I'm just going to be focusing on the tournament matches alone, not any sort of requests for that stream. But at some point, there will be a stream to where I hope people come back and request all D matches that they want. Because I think that would be a fun thing to do. But also, guys, this Sunday, you've got Extreme Rules live reaction. Yes, I'm still going to watch Extreme Rules because I don't miss the pay-per-view. I don't anymore. And before that, you have predictions from me and someone else. Someone else. You may know him. You may not know him. You just have to see and find out for sure. But guys, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Giving your thoughts down in the comments below. All opinions are welcome. And remember, everyone, we are a group of wrestling fans that are passionate about what we do. Whether we rant, whether we talk normally, whether we react to things. We are passionate about what we love. And we're just shooting straight. But for now, guys, I must bid you all adieu. Goodbye and good night.